What's going on, guys? Champ Bricks here with my 2023 Clone Army update video. Many of you guys have seen old photos of my Clone Army from back in the day on my social media accounts. However, this is going to be my first ever Clone Army update video on my channel. Now, instead of traditional Clone Army update videos that are normally yearly, this update will be my overall army that I have accumulated since the beginning of my childhood. And hopefully I'll keep adding to my army, uploading yearly updates as we go along. With that being said, we will be going over all the clones I have collected over the years, how I have achieved this awesome army, and my overall plans or goals for the future Clone Army updates. Starting off with the bulk or most accumulated figure in my army are going to be the realistic Phase 1 or RP1 clone troopers, totaling over 1,100 RP1 clone troopers. For those that don't know, the phrase realistic means the clones made based off the Star Wars movies, and in this case off of Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And these aren't just any normal realistic Phase 1 clone troopers. These are the LEGO clone troopers that were released between the years 2013 through 2018. With that being said, a majority of these figures consist of a little over 850 realistic Phase 1 grunts with the leg printing. Each one of these gray base plates has around 100 clones on them. In addition, I have around 150 either still sealed in the Jedi and Clone Trooper Battle Pack, or sealed new in storage that I did not want to bring out and display for my personal collection purposes. However, the unique part about these figures is that they have the older realistic style leg printing. They are not the new style of leg printing that was released in the Clone Blister Pack back in 2022. This particular realistic style leg printing was only found in 5 different sets or on 6 particular figures. The next group of realistic Phase 1 clones are going to range from pilots to important officers that have been added to the army. Starting from the left, we have a total of 16 RP1 pilots, and I was honestly surprised that I even had this many pilots myself. Moving on over to the right, I have a total of 44 RP1 sergeants. This is personally my least favorite, but I am honestly happy I have quite a few to balance out the grunt and officer ratio a little more. Up next, we have a total of 8 RP1 clone lieutenants, 8 RP1 clone captains, and 8 RP1 clone commanders. Now, these figures I am super happy that I have a highest and even amount of, due to the increase of value that these have accumulated over time, especially that red RP1 clone captain figure. In addition to the RP1 army or collection, off to the side I do have 14 of the newer style RP1 clone troopers, 12 being grunts and 2 being the clone commander or quote-unquote clone pilot, released in 2022. And lastly, we have 2 more of the rare side of minifigures collected by myself personally after going through so many clone battle packs, and that is going to be 2 of the RP1 misprinted figures. As you can see, the print is shifted or off compared to the normal RP1 clone helmet print. Now, these are just minor misprints, however certain misprints can be quite valuable based on the type it is. Moving on from the RP1s, up next we have quite a few different Clone Legion, Battalion, Corps, and so on. Starting off with the OGs, or figures that I first collected as a kid way back when, are going to be 5 of the OG Clone Pilots, 4 OG Clone Grunts or Regs, 4 OG Phase 1 Clone Troopers, 4 OG Shock Troopers, 3 OG 327th Star Corps Clone Troopers, 2 OG Clone Jetpack or 442nd Siege Battalion Clone Troopers, and my personal favorite, 01 OG Kashyyyk Scout Trooper. Moving on from the OGs, we have a custom Clone Commander Bly with 7 of those yellow or lightish orange, 212 Clone Troopers released back in 2013, and 3 Razor ARV Clone Troopers. I know none of these go together in the Star Wars universe, but they look really nice together for this Clone Army update. Next to them, I have both LEGO versions of Commander Gree with 4 Scout and 2 regular 41st Elite Corps Clone Troopers in their Kashyyyk camouflage. Next to the 41st, I had the 187th Legion consisting of 01 Clone Commander in the front and 2 187th Regs behind. Moving forward, next I have a custom Phase 2 Commander Keeley and LEGO's ARC Clone Trooper in the front. And behind these figs, we have 6 ARV Clone Troopers in the Rancor Battalion. Again, I know these don't go together either, but they look really good together for this update. Next to them, I have a custom Clone Commander Bakara, leading the 21st Nova Corps consisting of 2 custom Galactic Marine Clone Troopers. Now, I plan on making more of these in the future since this is my favorite corps in the Galactic Army. However, for now, I have these 3. Next to them, we have LEGO's version of Clone Commander Fox, leading the Courasant Guard, consisting of 2 newer and 2 of the 2014 version of the Clone Shock Troopers. Up next, we have a custom Clone Commander Neo, leading the 91st Mobile Reconnaissance Corps, consisting of 7 of LEGO's version of the 91st or BARC Clone Troopers. And lastly, for this base plate, we have a custom Phase 2 version of Commander Wolf, leading the 104th Battalion consisting of 3 Wolfpack Clone Troopers. I do plan on remaking this Phase 2 Wolf, as well as making some more custom versions of some of the iconic 104th clones in the future. Moving on over to the last base plate, starting on the left side, we have LEGO's version of Phase 2 Commander Cody leading the 212th Attack Battalion consisting of 3 newer 212th Clone Troopers, 20 older or realistic versions of the 212th Clone Troopers, 18 212th Airborne Clone Troopers, and lastly, 1 212th Grunt and 1 212th Airborne, both in their Geonosis camouflage. Next to the 212th, we have what I consider just my normal or uncategorized. Up in the front, I have a custom Camino Security Guard Clone Trooper Officer. In front of 21 realistic Phase 2 Grunts, 3 newer Clone Gunners, and 6 realistic Phase 2 Clone Gunners. I am honestly really proud of how many of those RP2 Clone Grunts I have accumulated over the years, given that the value has increased, as well as it only being in one set back in 2014. Up next, I have the original Phase 2 Captain Rex and Captain Vaughn leading the 501st and the 332nd Legion, consisting of 4 of the newer 332nd Clone Troopers, 8 newer 501st Clone Troopers, the Clone Troopers included in the new 501st Battle Pack, 10 of the older versions of the 501st Clone Troopers, and 2 501st Clone Pilot Clone Troopers. Now, I do own the new UCS Venator set containing the newer version of Phase 2 Rex. I just have not got to opening and building the set yet. Overall, I do wish I had more 501st Clone Troopers. I find my 501st Legion kind of depressing and do plan on growing the 501st Legion in the future. Behind the 501st, I have my favorite Clone Pilot figure, and that is going to be 12 of the ARC 170 Clone Pilots. And lastly, in the very back, I have my least favorite, and that is going to be the animated or Clone Wars version of the Clone Troopers. Now, these Clone Troopers range from the normal Grunts to the non-clone Senate Commandos, and lastly, every LEGO Clone Captain or Commander release, which was really enjoyable and fulfilling to complete. I believe the only figure I still have yet to achieve is going to be that Shadow ARF Trooper. Many of you guys have asked or might wonder on how I achieved such an army, and honestly, many or most of these figures have been collected over all the years I have collected LEGO Star Wars. So pretty much since the beginning. Now, some of the clones were donated by close friends or were sold to me at a very generous discounted price. To those, I thank you very much, and you know who you are. However, I can strongly say I spent quite a bit searching and purchasing a lot of these figures from my own over a long period of time. My overall plan or goal for the army is to first off continue to collect those specific 2013 style RP1 Clone Troopers with that specific older style leg printing. However, now I plan on branching out to the other Clone Legion, Battalion, Corps, etc. I might be a little too late in the game and should have already branched out to the newer style of Clone Troopers being released. But as a future goal for the army, I plan on trying to obtain or reach around 50 clones per Legion, Battalion, or Corps. It might take some time and a whole lot of money, but that would definitely fulfill my needs as a collector since I mainly prioritize the RP1 style Clone Troopers. So yeah guys, that concludes my 2023 Clone Army update. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed pulling out my collection that I have collected over so many years just to make a video on and share to the LEGO Star Wars community. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, as well as letting me know what your favorite Clone Legion, Battalion, or Corps is. I'm actually quite interested in seeing. Lastly, if you guys like this video, make sure you let me know by hitting that like button down below, and consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. That way you can stay up to date to all my latest content. Until then, this is Champ, and I'll see you in the next one.